The Gimli Glider, a story of human error and extraordinary skill. Picture this, a Boeing 767 soaring through the vast blue sky, carrying over 100 souls. The aircraft, a marvel of modern engineering, is designed to withstand the rigors of flight, ensuring the safety and comfort of everyone on board. It's a routine flight, or so it seems. Passengers are settled in their seats, some reading, others napping, while the flight attendants go about their duties with practiced ease. The pilots, confident and experienced, monitor the instruments, expecting an uneventful journey. But on a sunny day in July 1983, this ordinary journey transformed into an extraordinary tale of human error, remarkable skill, and a miraculous landing. The day started like any other, with clear skies and a smooth takeoff, but fate had other plans. This is the story of Air Canada Flight 143, forever etched in aviation history as the Gimli Glider. A flight that would test the mettle of its crew and passengers and become a case study in aviation training programs around the world. Our story takes us back to July 23rd, 1983. The day began like any other, with passengers boarding the aircraft unaware of the drama that would soon unfold. The flight was scheduled to travel from Montreal to Edmonton, with a stopover in Ottawa. Air Canada Flight 143 was en route from Montreal to Edmonton, making a scheduled stop in Ottawa. The flight path was routine, the weather was clear, and everything seemed to be going according to plan. On board were 61 passengers and 8 crew members, each with their own stories and destinations. Families, business travelers and vacationers, all sharing the same space, unaware that their flight would soon become a gripping real-life drama. Unbeknownst to them, a critical error had been made. A miscalculation in fuel quantity due to a conversion error between metric and imperial units meant that the aircraft was carrying significantly less fuel than required. This oversight would soon lead to a crisis at 30,000 feet. As the flight progressed, the pilots realized the gravity of the situation. With both engines failing, they had to rely on their training and instincts to navigate the powerless aircraft. What followed was a testament to the limits of human error and the boundless capacity of human courage. The crew's extraordinary skill and quick thinking turned what could have been a catastrophic disaster into a miraculous landing, forever etching the Gimli Glider into the annals of aviation history. Setting the scene, a routine flight turns critical. The flight from Montreal to Ottawa was uneventful. Passengers settled in, enjoying the in-flight service, completely oblivious to the silent drama that was about to unfold in the cockpit. The pilots, Captain Robert Pearson and First Officer Maurice Quintal, were experienced aviators, their calm demeanours reflecting their years of training. Little did they know that a seemingly insignificant maintenance issue, coupled with a series of miscalculations, would soon put their skills to the ultimate test. The stage was set for an aviation thriller, a story that would later be told and retold, captivating audiences worldwide. The fuel confusion, a case of metric mishap. The heart of the issue lay in the fuel system. The transition from imperial to metric measurements was a significant change for the aviation industry. Canada was transitioning to the metric system, and this particular aircraft was among the first in Air Canada's fleet to use kilograms instead of pounds for fuel measurements. This change required meticulous attention to detail and precise calculations. A refueling gauge was malfunctioning in Montreal, so the ground crew resorted to manual calculations to determine the required fuel. This manual process was prone to human error, especially during such a critical transition period. However, a crucial error occurred. The ground crew used an incorrect conversion factor, leading them to believe they had loaded more than double the actual fuel needed. This mistake was a result of confusion between pounds and kilograms, a common issue during the early days of metrication. The pilots, unaware of this miscalculation, took off from Ottawa, their fuel gauges indicating a seemingly healthy fuel level. They trusted the instruments and the ground crew's calculations, not realizing that they were embarking on a flight with insufficient fuel. This oversight would soon lead to a critical situation, testing the skills and resourcefulness of everyone involved. Section 4. Running on empty. The sobering reality sets in. As Flight 143 cruised at 40,000 feet, a series of warning signals began to flicker in the cockpit. The pilots, seasoned veterans of the skies, were initially unfazed. They had encountered warning signals before, and most often they were false alarms or minor issues that could be quickly resolved. First, an alarm indicated a problem with the fuel pressure. This was not entirely uncommon, and the pilots knew the procedure to handle it. They checked the gauges and instruments, looking for any signs of a malfunction. The pilots initially suspected a faulty gauge, a common occurrence. They discussed the situation calmly, running through their mental checklists and verifying the readings. They had been trained for such scenarios and knew that staying composed was crucial. However, their suspicions turned to alarm when a second fuel pressure alarm sounded, followed by the chilling silence of the engines winding down. This was no longer a simple gauge malfunction. The reality of the situation began to set in, and the gravity of their predicament became clear. The unimaginable had happened. Their aircraft carrying 69 souls had run out of fuel mid-flight. The engines, the heart of the plane, had gone silent, and the aircraft was now gliding without power. The passengers, unaware of the full extent of the crisis, sensed something was wrong as the plane began to descend. The situation was dire, the silence in the cockpit deafening. The pilots, Captain Pearson and First Officer Quintal, were now faced with the daunting task of bringing the powerless aircraft to a safe landing. Every decision they made in the next few moments would be critical. The fate of Flight 143 rested on the shoulders of Captain Pearson and First Officer Quintal. Their training, experience and composure would be put to the ultimate test as they navigated this unprecedented emergency. The lives of 69 people depended on their ability to remain calm and execute their emergency procedures flawlessly. Section 5. Captain Pearson, a gliding maestro. Captain Pearson, a seasoned glider pilot, immediately took control. With nerves of steel, he recognized that their only option was to glide the massive Boeing 767 to the nearest airport, hoping against hope that they could make it. His experience with gliders became their lifeline, his calm demeanor instilling a sense of hope in the tense cockpit. His first priority was to find a suitable landing spot. He knew of a former Royal Canadian Air Force base in Gimli, Manitoba, which had been converted into a motorsport racetrack. It was their only hope, a risky one at that, but they had no other choice.